are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Armbar Audio. This is your host, Tim Farley, and as always, sitting next to me, my trusted companion,
John Kern. What's going on, Grapple fans?
Grapple fans. I used to do grapple fans. Anyway, that threw me off, and I like it.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
so
was watching some UK wrestling this week, so you know.
right, World of Sport came back and did like huge numbers,
right,
for the British television over there.
Sure did.
What was I gonna say? Oh, well, it's a big show.
It actually
It's
is a big show
tonight, y'all.
I tell you, we didn't even have room for a big question.
That's right. So let's just jump into what we usually do, the news. Last Saturday, we got wind of 4 wrestling deaths. They all happened on the same day. 3 you've probably heard of. The 4th you may or may not have heard of. WWE legend Nikolai Volkov passed on. Territory great Brickhouse Brown passed on. Brian Christopher, a.k.a. Grandmaster 6A, was found hung in his jail cell. We don't know if it's suicide or something else because his father tends to believe there's more going on. And the 4th is Trevor Lee's dad, who started Omega Wrestling with Matt Hardy and was going to continue wrestling, probably like be in that group with Shannon and Shane and everything, but he ended up getting injured. But he was very, very proactive in the Hardys and his son's bookings and stuff like that. So rest in power to all of those who passed on Friday. It was a very sad day, or Saturday. It was a very sad day in wrestling.
Yeah, four on the same day was a big shock to the world.
Yeah. They always say they happen in 3s, but I didn't know it would be that quickly, you know?
Well, I think the biggest shock probably was Trevor Lee's dad. Right?
Yeah.
Because, like,
Well, I think Brian Christopher.
Well, my thing is the issues with Brian Christopher have been known for a while. All the DUIs that he's had in the recent months or years. Nikolai Volkov, I think, passed peacefully, I believe. From what I read, no illness or anything with that. And I believe was Brickhouse Brown, I believe was also peacefully.
Yeah.
No illness there. So that's...
What did Trevor Lee's dad had cancer or something?
I think... I'm not sure. I don't...
Yeah.
I'm not at liberty to say.
It's been an entire week. I don't remember. Okay, so...
So that's thankfully it for the sad news this week.
Yeah, we got some news out of the ROH camp.
Yes.
PW Insider reported and confirmed that Ring of Honor has signed Joey Matthews, aka Joey Mercury, to a deal to work for the company both as a trainer at their training academy, but also as a producer behind the scenes.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because whenever he was an agent and with Jamie Noble, especially during the whole Seth Rollins heel turn and whatnot, there was some great stuff that came out of that.
Yeah.
This is a huge pickup for Ring of Honor, I feel. John, you got anything to say?
Not much about the Joe Mercury thing. I hope he does well. I think he will. I think for a short time, I think he was training down at the Performance Center as well, right?
I don't know.
I think he might have been for some of the NXT guys. So that was That's good for Joey Mercury.
Yeah.
Joey Matthews.
Also, we found out all about the first ever Ring of Honor International Cup, which is happening during the Honor United Reunited tour in Edinburgh. You got Jimmy Havoc versus Christopher Daniels, Mark Haskins versus Jonathan Gresham.
Nice.
Adam Page versus Joe Hendry, who's been showing up on Impact.
Yes.
And Flip Gordon.
At least somebody will book Flip.
Against Kip Sabian. So that's the tournament there. I look forward to seeing this.
Yeah, there's some good matchups on that list that you just read.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff coming from that.
And potential.
Yes.
We also found out that Death Before Dishonor will be happening in Las Vegas, I believe. And they have already booked Bullet Club versus Chaos.
Nice.
It's Okada, Romero, who else? Beretta and Chucky T, and possibly somebody else against Cody, the Bucks, probably Page. I'm blanking
Marty,
out.
maybe? Is Marty going to be in there?
Maybe.
Anyway, is it a 5-on-5 confirmed? Is it 5-on-5?
Let me check. It's actually going to be Cody, Marty Scurll, and the Jackson Brothers, a.k.a. the Young Bucks, against Okada, Chucky T, Beretta, and Tomohiro Ishii.
Nice.
So
that's a good match.
Yeah, that's the only thing set up yet. This will be happening from the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, September 28th, 2018. So do look out for that.
Yeah, I feel like Death Before Dishonor is more or less always a good show. We've gone on record as saying that Ring of Honor shows can run a little long for us at times. But, like, Death Before Dishonor is always a good one. It's always one that I don't miss. That one and Supercard, I always try to catch. There has been some good stuff coming out of Ring of Honor lately. I know Jay Lethal just recently regained the Ring of Honor World Championship. We just talked about them signing Joey Matthews to produce for them. There's some good stuff.
And the
I'm looking forward
big
to it.
MSG show.
Yeah.
Night before Mania.
ROH and New Japan at Madison Square Garden. Another show that I'm going to desperately try to attend.
Some more ROH-related news. It's not exactly Ring of Honor. Cody Rhodes did something awesome to prove that whether he's a heel in the ring that you hate, in real life, he is an awesome human being.
I honestly just read about this today, and I'm excited for them to hear it.
A fan on Twitter reached out to Cody Rhodes expressing his disappointment that after initially buying a ticket to All In, life and finances would allow him for the rest of his expenses. So, he couldn't pay to get there and stay. The American Nightmare swiftly rectified the situation. The fan was Josh O'Neill. He said, I bought a ticket to All In. From the way things are looking, I'm not going to have enough funds for travel or a hotel. It's literally devastating. But I'm still glad I got the ticket because it helps you guys. Take it easy, man, and have one hell of a show. Cody said, what's your budget to get there and your PayPal? Then he followed up and said, sent you a little something. Enjoy yourself. Me and Matt and Nick with the whole crew involved intend to make this count. No wrestling fan should miss out. That's pretty awesome.
So basically he paid for him to go and stay so he could attend the show.
Yes. Which is freaking awesome.
Cody Rhodes, man, I would be remiss in saying that Well, maybe not remiss. I don't know that anybody else would do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've never heard of it.
Definitely nobody in WWE because they probably wouldn't be allowed. I'm sure that there would be some liability with that.
Yeah, because if something happens to the fan.
Yeah, but with this being a truly independent show, Cody can pretty much do whatever he wants.
It's his show.
It's
him
show.
and the Jackson show.
So
they're the ones who put up everything.
So he's saying, you bought a ticket, you deserve to be here.
Right. Which is fantastic.
Cody Rhodes, man.
Yep. So we got some Mae Young Classic news. We got a few stars coming in for it. More announcements. We got the Luchadora Zeusis. I hope I'm saying that right. NXT UK's Isla Dawn.
Nice.
New NXT signee Lacey Lane. And Ring of Honor Woman of Honor Karen Q. Then we also got information regarding more people joining. We got Robbie Brookside's daughter, Zaya Brookside,
nice.
Who has been recently, I think she's only been like in this indie scene or British scene for like a year or two.
Yeah.
Priscilla Kelly, who if you watch Evolve, you have seen. She wrestles in a lot of independents. She's really good up and comer. And Ashley Rain, as you would know from Impact.
That was such a shock.
As Madison Rain. And, we all heard that she was at the Performance Center a few months ago, but then they talked about the signees and she wasn't there, so we all thought, well, I guess it didn't go that way.
Yeah. But then, as soon as I read that she was in the Mae Young Classic, I thought to myself, oh, so that explains the loss to Su Yung at Slammiversary then, and the way that she went out.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that she's just doing the Mae Young Classic.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. But she needs to be going for at least, I think, a month or two to do that, right?
I have no idea.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's super cool stuff. I think I saw somebody on Reddit say that there's 18 spots left. I think that's what I saw.
It's a big tournament this year.
Yeah, it's 32. That's
bigger than the last time, right?
It's bigger than the last time. It's the same as the Cruiserweight Classic.
Awesome.
Which we should be getting another one, I think, hopefully next year.
Maybe. We also found out that Mauro Ranallo will most likely be the main announcer for the Mae Young Classic 2, which is awesome news because Mauro Ranallo is the best in any sport of anything to commentate.
He is really good.
He's so passionate and knowledgeable. Him today is comparable to like Jim Ross of the late 90s.
Yeah, that's it.
Because Ross now isn't the same, but you know what I mean.
His commentary for the NXT TakeOver specials is second to none.
Right.
I love Mauro, so I'm excited.
Me too.
And I'm hoping that we get Lady Ref Jess ref in some of those matches. She should be.
Oh, I believe so.
I hope so. And she should be at Evolution too, I think.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Get her in there.
And there's a new female referee. So our last talks are going to be about the contracts. Who got signed where? What's going on?
Yep.
So
there's some big ones.
Rich Swann has officially signed a long-term deal with Impact Wrestling, which I think is a positive.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
Impact's on the up and up. Everybody knows how I feel about Impact now. And Rich Swann is too good of a talent not to be featured on a weekly television show. His departure from WWE was BS. I think it was a little too premature for them to fire him.
Yeah.
Or, come to terms or whatever. So I'm glad that he has probably multiple platforms now, like...
Especially with Su Yung herself saying that the accusations were BS.
Yeah.
And now he's working with her in Impact. So
I mean, relationships, you know, they're very passionate. I mean, we seen Matt Hardy and Rebby literally go to jail for fighting each other, and then a couple years later, they're all over Impact, making huge waves.
Yeah, right.
And now everybody talks about how awesome their family is.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't
have ups without downs.
Yeah, or rectify certain situations.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it comes to this kind of thing, if it's in the public eye, you know, everybody's got a fucking opinion. And I never do, because that stuff is personal.
Yeah.
That's their personal life. And then Su Yung came out and said that stuff, and people on Twitter were saying, well, then why did you press charges and this and that?
Well, however, I will say it's nothing for me to be completely done with someone if it comes out that the stuff's true. You know what I mean? I think I've just always been that way. I can't help myself.
Well, I mean, he didn't beat her or nothing.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, people that get accused and they find out that it's true, I just cut them out pretty much.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I do that
for sure.
I did that with
How about Cedric Alexander?
Cedric Alexander. What happened with Cedric Alexander? I don't know nothing
People,
about that.
of course, like they have been, pulled up old tweets, and I guess he made not a malicious or malevolent joke about rape or something. I didn't even get to see it.
Okay.
He blocked everyone from his account, deleted everything, and then made an apology tweet.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fans who saw it were like, it's not a big deal, thanks for the apology, this and that. And he was on 205 Live this week defending the title, so I guess they didn't have big of a problem with that.
I've always been of the mindset that you can joke about anything.
Or they just decided, this belt has been cursed for too long, we don't care, you're just going to keep the title.
That's possible.
Because, I mean, seriously, everybody who's held it has... something bad has happened. We've been talking about for weeks about Matt Riddle and where he will end up in New Japan or WWE. If you talk to Matt Riddle, he will say he hasn't signed anywhere and doesn't know, but he's talked to both, as he said on Xbox 12360 and Sports Illustrated. But Uncle Dave Meltzer,
he still has to work through all his obligations, right?
Yeah, he has Joey Janela's Lost in New York and the 4 Evolve shows.
You got to be careful about what you say when you still have obligations like that.
Well, with Evolve, they have a good working relationship, but yeah. But the thing is, someone asked Uncle Dave Meltzer on Twitter about it, and he said no one's allowed to say, but he has signed the WWE for 3 years.
3-year deal.
So, to him, no one's allowed to say, but he's going to say it anyway. What a dick. Like it's awesome for us, but at the same time, why would his sources tell him anything anymore?
Right.
You know? So, that's what Meltzer said, but take it with a grain of salt.
This all plays into wrestling fans' love-hate relationship with Dave Meltzer.
Right. And with that, that's the end of the news. And we're going to go chronologically with our reviews this week. Last Friday, MLW held a 2-hour special on beIN Sports called Battle Riot. We knew that there would be multiple matches. I'm guessing the matches that were not on the initial show will be Fusion in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, probably.
The show started off with a match between Myron Reed and Koto Brazil, which I thought was a great match.
Yeah.
I thought there was tremendous action between them. There was a lot of lucha-style evasions and fast-paced offense.
I like flips.
Koto goes for a 450, but Myron put his knees up. But Koto scouted it and locked in a modified sharpshooter. until the longer Reed got to the rope. I thought that was an awesome spot. Myron hit a stun dog millionaire that does not stun Koto, as Koto hits the ropes and wins with a variation of the sliced bread.
Yeah.
This was a very enjoyable opener. Myron Reed, I've seen him in AAW. He's like a Midwestern guy, and Koto Brazil is a featured wrestler on MLW, who usually is like kind of put in the jobber position.
Yeah.
So this was pretty awesome.
He actually showed up again in the Battle Riot. Koto did.
That's right.
I think everybody that had matches before wound up in the Battle Riot. You only have a roster so big, it's hard to fill 40 spots.
Correct. The second match on the card was MLW World Middleweight Championship match. This is the inaugural middleweight championship. It was between MJF, a.k.a. Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
And famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan.
Yes, famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan.
He's a ghost.
Someone in the crowd was chanting EC2 at MJF, which I thought was hilarious, because when we were watching Beyond on Saturday, I tweeted...
You get the total vibe that he's just MJF, an EC3 ripoff.
Yeah, right.
It's the same character.
Really?
It's the same
He's just wearing a Burberry scarf.
Yeah.
But he is a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's good.
They showed the tail of the tape of the two men. I like how the look of the middleweight championship more than the heavyweight title, which is obnoxiously large.
I did want to say one thing. I watched the Battle Riot special with my granddad.
Yeah.
I've talked about him before. This was his first time experiencing Joey Ryan.
Oh my god.
And he was confused, bewildered, but
was that because he's old or because of Joey Ryan?
I think he was. I think it's because of Joey Ryan. Because when he put his lollipop in somebody's mouth, he was like, oh, okay, and then he poured out the oil like he always does and
put it down his trunks.
I love what Matt Stryker said, as if that area needed to be more swampy and slick. And Tony Schiavone lost it on commentary.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody break Tony Schiavone, but Matt Stryker did. It was great.
Yeah, after the first tie-up, fans were chanting "touch his dick" and "fuck Cornette," which was awesome. MJF.
Joey Ryan is an experienced man.
Yeah, MJF said he will touch it if Ryan shakes his hand. Ryan refused. These are two very vibrant characters, and throughout the match, both charisma had the fans going.
Yeah.
MJF wins with a cradle shoulder breaker for the win after working Ryan's arm throughout the match. It's kind of refreshing that the charisma-driven guys have the secondary belt and the wrestlers hold the main title, as it is usually
I'll tell you what, man,
the other way around.
MJF also, I noticed, did get some of the fans to turn in his favor, too. He did. He ended up getting some people behind him.
There's another heel that got some people behind him by the end of this show, and we'll be getting into that right now. So the last match was the Battle Riot match. I'm going to go down the entrance as they came out and the eliminations as they happened.
Now, this was a no disqualification Royal Rumble-esque match where there was a new competitor every minute. Eliminations could happen via pinfall, submission, or being thrown over the top rope.
Yep.
And weapons were encouraged but not utilized in any way.
For weeks they talked about the no DQ stipulation. They had a few wrestlers in here. But I'll get to that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I wanted gore, damn it. Let's go.
Call Rhino.
I will.
So, entrance number 1 and 2 to start the match were the brothers and the title holders, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. They wrestled each other until the big Brody King came in. We got Kenny Doane from the Spirit Squad as 4. Filthy Tom Lawler as entrant number 5. Lance Anoa'i as entrant 6. Ray Horace at 7. Kevin Sullivan at 8. who was the only wrestler to bring a weapon, which was a golden
spike.
Yeah. From Impact Wrestling, Falaba.
That was cool.
Entrant 10 was Swoggle. Entrant 11 was Head Shrinker Samu.
The father of Lance Anoa'i.
Entrant 12 was ACH. 13 was Conan. 14 was Barrington Hughes.
That's a big boy.
Who really won me over in this match.
That's a big boy. I don't see many people that make me look small. I don't see many people.
Oh, shit. Entrant 15 was Jimmy Utah. 16 was Kodo Brazil.
Yes.
17 was Richard Holiday. 18 was Fred Yehai. 19 was Jason Cade. Entrant 20 was Teddy Hart, which there's, when we get into this review, there's a lot of questions surrounding that human. 21 was Vandal Ortegun. 22 was Mikey Mondo of the Spirit Squad.
Yep.
Entrant 23, one of my new favorite wrestlers, PCO.
PCO, man. He really won me over on that Beyond card.
Yeah. Entrant 24 was La Smooth, or L.A. Smooth, I don't know. 25 from the Filthy Tom Lawler camp, Simon Gotch.
Yes.
Entrant 26, Homicide. 27, Davey Boy Smith Jr. 28, the Blue Meanie.
Yep.
29, Michael Patrick of the Stud Stable. Sammy Callahan. Sawyer Fulton. Shane Strickland. Leon Scott of the Stud Stable. Drago. Leo Bryan of the Stud Stable. Oh, Leon Scott. I got Leon Scott and Leo Bryan mixed up. Leon Scott is in the Death Machines with Sawyer Fulton.
Yeah. And Sam.
Yeah. 36 was Joey Ryan. 37 was Maxwell Jacob Friedman. 38 was Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger. 39 was John Hennigan. And 40 was Jimmy Havoc. I was really bummed. Okay, so I separated my thoughts into the good and the bad.
Okay.
The bad. MLW bought the legends and special attraction guys just for nostalgia pops, and they didn't do much or couldn't do much. I wish the no DQ aspect would have been used at least once. Havoc and Homicide should have brought weapons into the ring.
Especially Havoc and Homicide.
Yeah.
And Sammy. Sammy should have brought stuff. And his guys.
Yeah. Definitely.
I was happy to see Sawyer Fulton, though. This is the first time I've seen him since he left NXT.
Yeah, and I like he kept his name.
Yeah, and I love that he's basically in another Sanity-type stable.
Right? He's like, I don't have to cut my hair.
Yeah, right? Or change my jacket. Because he did it.
I really wanted to see more of Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lawler interact.
Yeah.
Also, is Teddy Hart certifiably learning disabled? Teddy Hart came in.
Walked in.
Said hello to the fans. Had a dead face.
And then stepped over the top rope.
He did a moonsault onto all of the other competitors who were already eliminated.
And eliminated himself.
Yes, and just shook all the people's hands and walked away. Like, what?
And I think Tony Schiavone was talking up about how he didn't want a piece of Tom Lawler or something. I think is the story that they're going with.
Well, Tony Schiavone said that, but it didn't look like that at all. No. It just looked like Teddy had this idea in mind.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this awesome spot and get the hell out of here.
He's a troll.
Cash my check.
Troll boy.
The good. There was good spotlight on MLW mainstays.
Yes.
Aside from Tom Lawler, who really has been coming into his own as a full-time pro wrestler, his number 2 guy, Simon Gotch, is a great prick heel and actually is allowed to showcase his wrestling ability in Major League Wrestling. And this match particularly with unique ways to stay in. I liked Sami Callihan's participation. No matter if he wins or loses, you remember what he did. I liked the belly bump spots with Barrington Hughes and Fallah Bahh. Those were funny. Swoggle was funny. PCO was rad. Loving his comeback to wrestling.
I love Swoggle German suplexing people. I love
ridiculous.
It so much.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
And then whenever Fallah Bahh and Barrington Hughes were doing the belly bumps, he got involved, tried getting involved. I really liked Utah not trusting his ex-partner, Jason Cade.
Yeah.
Because
it's not easy to put good storytelling in a match like this, but they did.
Yeah. I loved how Cotto Brazil and John Hennigan's entrance themselves into the match. I think Cotto Brazil flew through the second rope, and Hennigan did a huge splash to the inside. Yehai had some cool offense in there. Having an MMA athlete turned pro wrestler versus a pro wrestler who's becoming an MMA athlete is a cool way to end it.
Yes.
Tom Lawler was entranced at number 5 and went through everybody, eliminated a lot of guys, and overall I think the right man won, as Lawler and his team Filthy are going to be a huge pillar of Major League Wrestling's future.
Yeah.
Overall, I felt the show was good. Not great, but definitely worth my time. I'd give it a solid B.
Yeah, it was good. I could definitely see this being an annual thing for them.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind, especially if they brought the weapons.
Yeah. I can't wait for next year when we get to see the Battle Riot by the numbers segment a million times.
Oh, God. Hopefully not. So, Saturday night, Beyond Wrestling had their annual big event, Americanrana. There have been many great matches from past Americanranas. Last year had EYFBO, a.k.a. LAX, Mike Drastic, and Angel Ortiz versus the Lucha Brothers. If you've never seen that, go and find it. It's awesome. But this card was pretty sweet, and there was probably 4 matches that I really liked.
Yeah.
So
I think top to bottom, I don't think there was a bad match.
Right.
Yeah.
So going into this, Beyond is partnered with Powerbomb TV, which is right now only a website that hosts plenty of indie federations or promotions, as you would say. They were saying you can get a free 20-day trial with the password with a code BEYOND. This made for a lot of stop and starting for us watching the live stream, and even for me throughout the week trying to catch the first match, which we missed during our first viewing. But I did finally get to see that match. A lot of traffic has been going to Powerbomb TV for this show, and for good reason. The first match, honestly, if you never heard of Beyond Wrestling or any of these wrestlers, which is insane, this match alone should be enough reason for you to go check this show out. It was Team Pazuzu, comprised of Evolve's tag team champions Jaka and the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson, and the Impact tag team champions LAX, formerly known as EYFBO, Mike Drastic and Angel Ortiz, against Team Women's Wrestling Revolution, who was captained by Kimberly, who was Abby Lath in the Mae Young Classic and NXT, Mia Yim, who was in Impact and
in the
first
Mae Young Classic,
and the second one.
Yeah, and she's in the second one.
Jordan Grace, a.k.a. Thick Mama Pump, and Hot Scoop Skyler, who is, I think, she's she's an up-and-comer, and she's featured on Beyond's women's thing called Women's Wrestling Revolution. I have a feeling that she trained around Massachusetts or something like that, because she's featured a lot in their stuff. And I haven't seen her many other places. This match was fucking awesome. I was a fan of all involved, and they all worked hard and fast and had great chemistry. I'd say the star of the match was Jordynne Grace. Thick Mama Pump, I felt, was just awesome and made the most of her spots in time given. She hit a pounce on Ortiz, or Drastic, if you want to call him, and he flew across the ring. I love the spot where all women dove out one by one, finishing with a big swanton bomb from the top to the outside by Kimber Lee. Pazuzu wins after Dickinson hits a Pazuzu bomb. Jaka hits a German suplex. Mike Drastic hits a huge back-assisted cannonball. And Ortiz finally covers Hot Scoop Skylar. As the rest of Team Pazuzu kept the other ladies at bay. I thought Hot Scoop Skylar also shined bright in a brief but impressive sequence where she took on everyone from Pazuzu, but showed her inexperience by not going for a pin and instead playing to the crowd. It was a fucking good match.
Yeah, I saw something afterwards online that said it was a picture of the beginning of the match with them all in the ring. And it said, this isn't men's wrestlers versus women's wrestlers. This is wrestlers versus wrestlers. This is wrestling.
Right.
And I love that mindset.
Kimberly's whole thing coming back to the Indies is she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And she even posted a picture, and it was something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
It very well might have been her picture that I saw.
Could be. The second match was AR Fox against Anthony Green with the Platinum Honeys, a.k.a. the Retrosexuals. This was the first time that I had seen or heard of Anthony Green or any of the Retrosexuals, but I loved the gimmick. He looked like a 70s porn star, and they looked like Hooter girls, which is retrosexual in this day and age. The match ended when Fox hit draping Green on the middle rope and slid off his back and kicked both of the Honeys. Fox hit a 450 for a 2, but then hit the Fox catcher for the win. This was a decent match from what we caught of it.
Yeah. It was good stuff. I really like AR Fox. Ever since I started getting into Lucha Underground, he's on there a lot.
Yep.
I'm a big fan.
He's on Evolve a lot too. So
when I started getting into Lucha Underground, I went back and watched the last episode of season 3 with the that crazy death match that AR Fox had.
It was AR Fox, but he's Dante Fox in Lucha Underground against Shane Strickland, who's Killshot.
Yeah, that was insanity.
It was like a 3 stages of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fucking awesome.
They ended up. The match ended when they fell from a balcony through like a bunch of plate glass.
Yeah.
It was insanity.
Well, the third match on Americanrana was Big Bad Brody King versus Josh Briggs, who we have talked about when we covered Evolve. They were about the same height, but Brody had a bit of a weight advantage. Both these guys are making waves on the indie scene in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Blackcraft Wrestling, Bar Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling, and Evolve. Brody hit a Hurricane Rana. Josh sets his head on the middle rope, and Brody followed with a cannonball, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Josh hit a big spinning side slam for 2. There were a couple of big boots exchanged until Briggs hit a lariat, taking both men down. Brody put his hands behind his back and asks for slaps, and Briggs delivers. But after a few hits, Brody decides to discus lariat Briggs out of his boots. He picked Briggs up for a powerbomb and tried a sliding lariat, but missed. Briggs wins with the choke bomb backbreaker. This was a big hoss fight feel. At the end, Briggs talked about consistency and says he will die or get signed before he loses at Beyond ever again.
Yep.
I thought it was a cool promo. The match was okay. It didn't feel like they had great chemistry, even though both are good wrestlers. What did you think, John?
I thought it was a good hoss fight. There were a couple good hoss fights on this Beyond card. I do want to give a warning to anybody that's going to try to go back and watch this show. This is not a kid-friendly show at all. There's a lot of language. The main event, we'll get into that later. But yeah, if you got little ones at home, maybe watch this before you show it to them.
Or don't show it to them at all.
Or don't show it to them at all.
So, the fourth match was Jonathan Gresham against a returning to the ring, Trent.
Trent Beretta.
There was a... Okay, so there's a stable in Beyond Wrestling called the Dream Team. And Jonathan Gresham, MJF, and Thomas Sharp were in this stable with Stokely Hathaway as their manager. Leading up to this Beyond special, Jonathan Gresham had left. So the original match was supposed to be MJF against Gresham, but MJF became injured, so a new member of the Dream Team and recently cleared Trent comes to wrestle. MJF, Hathaway, and Thomas Sharp put a Burberry scarf on Trent, announcing him as a new member, and the match begins. Gresham elbows the scarf, which was hilarious because I was like, is he going to do the Ric Flair? And
yeah,
in that moment, the commentary team said the same thing. MJF got ejected after trying to get involved. Gresham does some great limb work on Trent's arm. Thomas Sharp gets ejected after pulling the ref out on a possible 3 count. Trent turns on Hathaway at the end, and Gresham breaks Hathaway's arm. It was great seeing Trent back. Glad he's still a face. Kind of a stop and start match with all the Dream Team antics, so it didn't really pick up.
Yeah,
but
it didn't. It definitely didn't pop.
Right.
But it was the wrestling that was in the match was good wrestling.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now here's a match that I thought, for all the potential, it really shit the bed. We got Matt Riddle and Tom Lawler against the Hate Club of Matt Tremont and Nick Gage. I am not a fan of deathmatch type wrestlers. Death matches are okay as a big blow off to an end of feud. I know you feel differently about this, John. So I never saw.
I just like violent TV.
I never had seen Matt Tremont or Nick Gage as they are known for
I
those
hadn't either.
things.
I hadn't either.
There was a cool spot where Lawler had a figure 4 and an ankle lock on both of his opponents on the outside. The finish comes when Riddle accidentally kicks Lawler. Gage throws a chair at Riddle and punches it and hits Riddle with a choke backbreaker for the win. Riddle and Lawler showed their ability well, and I felt Tremont and Gage were I don't understand punching a chair into someone's face.
It looks silly.
It looks silly.
Yeah.
It looks like you're logically, if you compare this to the Van Daminator, Rob Van Dam throws it in your face and kicks it in your face.
And then kicks it with a protected part of his body.
Exactly. This is just okay, so you throw it up in the air, you punch it, so your hand's getting hurt.
And you break your hand.
And you're possibly messing up the velocity at which that chair would have been heading had you thrown it anyway.
Right.
I was in and out of this match. I couldn't pay full attention because it was just
you were.
The sixth match
I think it's a left. I like it.
was a special Chikara Atomico's surprise match with Mike Quackenbush, Fire Ant, Solo Darling, and Boomer Hatfield against Travis Huckabee, Murloc, Volgar, or as you called him, the Trash Bag Man, the entire night,
The hefty bag.
and the Whisper.
It's not my fault he's wearing a shiny black singlet.
This was a lot of fun to watch. I felt like I definitely need to get into Shikara after watching this. Solo Darling had the Whisper in a clover leaf, but Murloc throws Hatfield into her, which was a cool spot. Quackenbush stood on Volgar's shoulders, and Trust falls into everyone to the outside, which was fantastic. Solo got caught from a flying crossbody, but she turns it into a crucifix, into the cloverleaf, and the big Volgar tapped. This was a whole lot of action and a whole lot of fun. And it was really cool to see the only female tapping out the biggest guy in the match.
Did you talk about Mike Quackenbush getting launched into the crowd?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, I didn't.
He was still standing on his shoulders. Yeah.
I'm going to mark out a little bit here. I was live tweeting during the event, and as soon as the Chikara match was over, I actually tweeted using the Chikara Twitter handle. I was like, that Chikara showcase match was really good. And it got retweeted by like everybody in the match.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
That is awesome. The seventh match on the card was the Powerbomb TV Independent Championship match. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams versus Wheeler Utah, a.k.a. Jimmy Utah that we spoke about in MLW.
Yes.
Williams hit a Death Valley driver and two Terry Funk-esque pile drivers for the win. There was good stuff, but nothing to write home about. I know Tracy is capable of better, and he picked the match up from the spot where he did the DDT on the top turnbuckle, but I wasn't fully invested in this match.
Yeah. That's fair. It was one of the slower ones of the evening. I got to admit it. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was two good people. It was two people that I've heard of before.
Yeah, it's like...
There wasn't much of that on this show, honestly.
Right.
People I was like, oh, I know like 2 out of 5 people in this one. Oh, I know that guy. But yeah, it was 2 people that I heard of, so I was excited.
Match 8 was the Beaver Boys versus Massage Force versus Team Tremendous versus the Gentleman's Club, consisting of Orange Cassidy and Chucky T.
I think you became Massage Force's #1 fan during this match.
Oh, I loved them. And that's the first line I have written here. Impressed by Massage Force. Awesome oil-assisted cannonball from the stage into the other teams. There was a fun spot from the Beaver Boys to Orange Cassidy. After Cassidy double choke slammed the Swamp Monsters, who came out of nowhere, they lifted Cassidy up from behind like a cheerleader type setup. And Cassidy was like hooraying for himself. Then he realized it was the Beaver Boys and hung his head in sadness before they hit like a they flipped him over for like a driver.
Yeah.
Team Tremendous hit a Doomsday Slice bread on one of the Massage Force, and Reynolds of Beaver Boys slides in and stole the win. After the match, Dan Barry lays out Bill Carr. That is of Team Tremendous. And it was a fun match. Massage Force were funny and innovative.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Good stuff. I told you that I knew Team Tremendous from House of Hardcore. They're on like literally all of House of Hardcore shows.
Yeah, and I think I've seen them in Evolve, or was that the detective guy?
Yeah, they got like the Miami Vice type
They were
gimmick.
involved for a while too, but I really didn't know of anybody until I saw them.
Right.
And of course Chucky T, but
yeah,
I didn't know any of these people, and I came out like Massage Force is amazing.
Yeah.
These guys need to be on. It's like when I first saw Space Monkey.
Yes.
And Jervis Cotton Belly
Wrestle
Circus.
Yeah.
Like, these acts need more showcasing. And Chris Wolf, too.
And
She's an awesome wrestler, and she has this hilarious gimmick that she is a wolf.
It's very refreshing when a typical joke gimmick that would be in WWE is overshadowed by or is used by someone who's a very good technical wrestler. And that's how I feel about Joey Ryan. It's a ridiculous over-the-top gimmick, but Joey Ryan is so damn good that you almost look past it.
Yeah, I mean, like, on the indie promotions like this, the wrestlers that we just talked about, you know, they are beloved and not seen as jokes, as to where if they were in the WWE, they would exploit them.
Yeah, like Space Monkey is literally a guy in a monkey mask wearing an astronaut suit.
Yeah, and
like,
he's awesome.
And he's awesome. Moonsaults and flips and Hurricane Ranas and shit. Yeah,
a lot of monkey flips.
Yes, a lot of monkey flips.
Well, Space Monkey was not on this show.
No, he wasn't.
Or any of the shows we'll be talking about today. But shout out to Space Monkey. Match 9 was PCO versus Brian Cage. And I remember
you want to talk about house fight.
You read a tweet to me during that match that said, someone said, this house fight makes Josh Briggs and Brody King look like the mini luchadors.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious.
The Machine Brian Cage.
There was a lot of cool spots. There was a one-legged springboard moonsault to the floor from PCO to Cage.
Yeah.
A swanton bomb from PCO to Cage. Cage jumps from the second rope for a tornado DDT to PCO.
And these are people that have no business doing these moves.
Not at all. Especially PCO.
Yeah.
At his age. Honestly, PCO is wrestling like he found out last year that he's going to die or something.
He's wrestling better than he ever did in WWF.
I guess I'll go and be on the independents and wrestle like a crazy man.
Yeah.
It's insane. PCO catched a jumping Cage into a choke bomb. Cage with a suplex from the second rope from the outside to the inside. Superplex from PCO to Cage. Cage with a 619 and top rope elbow drop for 2. PCO choke slams Cage into the turnbuckle and choke slams him again, then a moonsault for only 2. A huge discus lariat and a drill claw gives Cage the win.
Yep.
Both men shake hands. I loved it. It was just like what you would want both of these guys, because you know Cage can bring it, and from what PCO has been doing, you know that he's going to bring it. And
definitely,
it was just, when you're that size, the height and the weight and the muscles. And for PCO's age, you do not expect this type of work. But it was awesome. Match 10 was our main event. The blow-off to a huge feud in Beyond Wrestling.
Yep.
For the title of the ace of Beyond Wrestling, essentially. A barbed wire rope match between The Product, David Starr, and Bad Boy Joey Janela.
What I thought was interesting, at the beginning of this match, the ring announcer announced that this would be Joey Janela's last death match.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any truth to that.
Yeah,
is Joey Janela supposed to be going somewhere or signing somewhere?
Well, he's on Dojo Pro.
Ah, okay.
On I think it's like a show on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
He's on MLW now.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he's not signing anywhere.
Yeah, so
he's going to be at All In against Hangman Adam Page. So
interesting.
I wrote down some spots, some things I liked, this and that. The first huge spot came with a Russian leg sweep through a barbed wire table, which was absolutely insane. Penelope Ford was she was doing a bunch of flips and was gonna flip into Dave. He moved and she went into a barbed wire table. Janela stapled an 8x10 of Scott Steiner on Scott Steiner's birthday to David Starr's head. Starr took a Death Valley driver onto cinder blocks. David Starr counters a crossface by pushing a Kenzen, which is like this huge tack.
Yeah, I found out what it is. It's a thing used in floral arrangements.
Oh.
It's used to hold up flowers.
I see.
That's what it is. I had to Google it.
He pressed the damn thing all the way into Janela's head.
And then was like punching it too.
Yeah. At one point, Janela wrapped himself in barbed wire.
For seemingly no reason, because there was no payoff to it.
I think in mind he was like, if David touches me, he's going to feel the pain. Starr wins with a pile driver onto cinder blocks to become the ace of Beyond Wrestling. I'm not into this type of wrestling, but holy fuck. To end a bitter feud, I'll accept it. These two and Penelope Ford should be commended for taking part in this. Starr gets on the mic and says he fought through all the bullshit that Beyond and Janela threw at him, and says Janela is a talentless stuntman. He tells Beyond to fuck off and says he's going home to fuck his girl, then head to the UK where they actually know what real wrestling is. Starr says Beyond will see its ace whenever the fuck he feels like coming back. This was an awesome promo. People cheer for Joey Janela. He sits in the chair in the middle of the ring as people chant for him. They give him a mic and he thanks Philadelphia, and everyone claps.
They weren't in Philadelphia.
Yeah, everyone claps, even though they were in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Philadelphia.
Obviously, he was selling the concussion, yes. I guess. But yeah, I thought it was awesome.
This is an A to A+ show for me.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
I will have to go back and watch it all the way through to give a full grade, because unlike you, I felt taken out of it every time we had streaming issues.
I'm so used to that with the network.
Yeah.
And how it is watching stuff live.
I would say it's a B+.
Yeah. Now we're already almost an hour here. We're gonna have to sprint through Raw and SmackDown.
I don't care. We usually go between 1 and 2, so.
Yeah.
So we put a survey out that only 2 people have replied to.
Yeah.
It said, what promotion do you want to hear more about? They said MLW, and one said main roster WWE. So, to accommodate one of those people, we decided we're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown this week. Just for you. So, Raw. I only got through so much of it because Raw, even without commercials, puts me to sleep. There's too much filler, and the filler is super boring. There's really good stuff on Raw.
Yeah.
But you have to sift through a lot of crap.
I feel like Raw relies too much on big endings and doesn't care about the middle at all. They always have a pretty decent opening and a pretty decent ending, but
how do you keep your viewers right?
Yeah.
This is what I have. You could talk about more since you watched the entire thing. I thought the beginning was great. The promo from Roman was good.
Yeah.
It was a great job of making Lesnar hated. And if they can't get people to get behind Reigns, let's just get Lesnar hated. It'll make them like Reigns. The first match, we had Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. I think these guys work very well together. Finn sells super good. I noticed a lot during this match. Corbin won and then attacked after the match. Throughout all of this stuff, we get Angle talking to Paul Heyman and saying, Lesnar must go out there or he's going to be stripped, and I'm going to fire you as well. And Paul keeps trying to get Lesnar to come out, and Lesnar's reading magazines and saying he doesn't watch the show, he doesn't care. go fetch him a steak, baked potato, and steamed broccoli.
Yeah.
So he's really treating Paul like a peasant, which is a new aspect to their dynamic and his character.
Mm-hmm.
We got Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss against Natalya with Ronda Rousey. Big deal. Didn't care. Somehow Rousey got put down. I don't know how because I didn't pay attention. Rousey begs Angle after the match for a match because she says if she doesn't get her hands on somebody sooner than SummerSlam, she's going to just get suspended again. So next week, we get to see Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox. Neat. The third segment was Elias. Amazing promo as usual. He says all the artists his album went over, and then says he could have beaten Drake but was stopped by Bobby Lashley. He talks crap on Pitbull. Fuck Pitbull. And The Rock as they were in Miami. I would love to see a dual Rock concert in the future. His segment or his promo was cut off by Bobby Lashley, at which point I fell asleep. So, John, take over.
So Bobby Lashley comes out there, and Elias tries to get him to sing with him. And he starts playing the song Rockin' Robin. And Bobby starts singing very poorly, at which point Elias hits him with the guitar because he sang so poorly. So it looks like we're going to be getting a Lashley and Elias feud. Maybe a mini feud, it seems more likely. You talked about the Rousey stuff. That was alright. We got Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. For some reason, Jinder's still on TV. Owens appeared and tried to steal the briefcase and was subsequently annihilated by Braun Strowman.
That's cool.
He ended up chasing him out of the arena and taking a pinfall, or taking a count-out loss, which he came back out onto the stage and looked at Jinder, realized that he had lost, and then just like waved his hands and went after Owens. Like he doesn't care. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins was good.
Yeah, I heard great things about this match. And going through our past weekly recommendations, Drew McIntyre and or Seth Rollins has been in pretty much every Raw recommended
for the
match.
past couple. Yeah, for the past
since
couple
we started
weeks.
doing.
Yes. Yeah,
this will be week 6.
And a couple times it has been. It has been Dolphin Seth Rollins or McIntyre and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
This one ended in a DQ where Dolph Ziggler got involved. The B team picked up a new set of challengers in the form of the Revival.
Yes.
The Revival challenged and defeated the Deleters of Worlds to become #1 contenders.
FTR, forever the Revival, or fuck the Revival.
So it seems like we're going to be getting Revival and B team at SummerSlam, or possibly a triple threat.
No.
WWE.
No, at SummerSlam, and hopefully
Yeah.
the Revival wins. And this is how they finally get AOP over with the main roster.
Yeah, but
having AOP against Revival.
You know WWE is addicted to multi-man matches.
Yeah, and also, didn't one of the AOP members lose to Apollo Crews on this show?
Yeah, but it was a funky finish though.
Oh.
It was a small package victory where Apollo like ran away right after.
Oh, okay.
Like that's
acceptable.
I think
Acom.
I think there was a distraction or something. But yeah. Sasha Banks and Bayley were decked out in matching gear as they took on Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan.
I saw some gifs of this match, and the Americanrana into the Meteora from Bayley and then from Banks. That was pretty sweet looking.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff. So in the back we get Mojo Rawley bullying the jobbers of Raw. So like Kurt Hawkins is back there. I think one of the Singh brothers was back there. A bunch of the guys that get beat all the time on Raw. And so he's back to bullying them, and Bobby Roode comes in. And And it seems like they're going to be going at it at SummerSlam because there was a brawl that ensued between Bobby and Mojo, where Mojo actually said, "What are you going to do, Bobby? Catchphrase me into submission?"
Hilarious.
Yeah.
But you would think that it should be the other way around.
Right.
You know, because Rude is such a good heel, but Mojo Rawley needs to be a heel, otherwise
to be interesting at all.
Yeah.
That's where my stuff ends, but I think that was the last little bit that we got before the blow-off of the show, which was Kurt Angle calling out Paul Heyman and asking where Lesnar was. They know he's in the building. He hasn't shown up yet. And Paul Heyman kind of threw Lesnar under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says to Kurt, it was Kurt Angle and Constable Corbin out there talking to Paul Heyman. Where Paul Heyman says, "Look, I've been trying all night. I've been trying to get him out here all night. You've seen on the TV. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about SummerSlam. He doesn't care about any of these people." And Kurt Angle says something to the effect of Brock Lesnar is the worst Universal Champion of all time, to which Paul Heyman sort of didn't disagree. So finally, Lesnar shows up. But that's only after Paul Heyman says flat out, "If you have a problem with Brock Lesnar, talk to Brock Lesnar, because I'm done." That's what Paul said.
Yeah.
This isn't something I ever thought we'd see.
Right, and obviously Heyman's writing it.
Yeah.
It's been known.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good.
Lesnar comes out, gets in Kurt's face, asks if he has a problem with him, and before Kurt can open his mouth, he gets dropped with an F5. And to finish off the show, Lesnar put his hands around the throat of Paul Heyman, had him on the ground staring at Kurt Angle, and is saying, "Look at that. Look at that." Like he attacked Paul Heyman.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh my God. And the fans started chanting, "We want Roman." It fucking worked.
Yeah.
Madman Vince has finally made it happen. We've been waiting for it to happen forever. He finally made it happen.
Us liking Roman?
Well, us being on Roman's side, I guess.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
There was a point where I think they had to restrain or tell Roman to leave.
Yeah.
And he punched Corbin in the face, and the
punch
looked awesome.
I think it was like Steph had called Baron and said the only way Lesnar's going to go out there is if Roman's not in the building. And Baron goes and tells Kurt, kind of gives him the "don't kill the messenger" stick.
Yeah. And
they end up trying to get Roman out of the building. And they're ultimately successful because Roman didn't show up when Lesnar attacked Kurt and Paul.
Right.
Baron hopped down out of the ring as soon as he dropped Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
"I'm not having any.
This isn't my beef.
Right.
This isn't my problem. It's his."
Yeah. They did a real good job throughout the entire show making Lesnar just like the most hated person.
It could be said that Baron did his job.
Oh, yeah.
Baron held up his part of the deal with Steph. Right. So he's good. He's out.
Like I said, I obviously read about what happens on Raw. I don't watch it all because
it was rough
hard
to get through with some of the filler.
But
this
whole storyline with Heyman and Lesnar and Roman is awesome.
This is actually good. It's good shit. And we're finally getting some decent build to SummerSlam.
Right. SmackDown on Tuesday was fantastic.
Yeah, SmackDown was good this week.
Yeah. We had the opening match was to see who faces the New Day, who to next week in the tag team title tournament. They're returning The Bar against the Usos. The Bar wins in a fantastic match.
God.
Yeah. I love the Hardy.
The Bar's been missing in action for freaking months.
Right. Love the Hardy Orton Nakamura ordeal. Hardy came out, cut a decent promo, got attacked from behind by Nakamura. Orton comes in, puts Shinsuke in the corner, and then tells him to hit the Kinshasa on Jeff. Then he starts beating up on Hardy too, and Orton and Nakamura go face to face, and Nakamura slides out of the ring.
Can I say that I'm all for Orton and Nakamura potentially working together?
They're either going to work together or they're going to
beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah,
it's going to go one of two ways.
One up each other until SummerSlam and then fight each other. But Orton looked like he was going to go for the RKO and he was working the crowd, and then he said no and just started stomping Hardy, which was hilarious. We got a promo from Samoa Joe sending a personal message to AJ Styles. Samoa Joe is the best promo in professional wrestling, tied with Austin Aries. That's how I feel. We always hear about how much AJ is a family man, and Joe used that, which is always in a positive light, to make it into a negative light. And he said, your fans aren't going to like what happens to you at SummerSlam, but your kids and your wife will, because you'll be going home. Yeah. Which is hilarious. The Bryan vs. Miz promo was so damn good.
I'm so ready for SummerSlam with that match.
I'm upset that it's happening at SummerSlam because of the WrestleMania. We talked about that before.
I don't think it's going to be the first. I don't think it's going to be the last match.
Right. But maybe at Mania we get Daniel Bryan and AJ. Or the three of them. But yeah, I'm pumped for this match. They both play off each other so well.
We're finally getting payoff to the damn near 8-year-long Miz and Bryan feud.
Yeah, and every time it ends, somehow it gets sparked up again.
Yeah.
We got a match between Zelina Vega and Lana, which was better than you think it would be.
Yeah, I like seeing Zelina in the ring. I want more of that.
Zelina was great in Impact, but Aiden English tried to help Lana, which distracted, I guess, and Rusev was mad at both of them, and Lana said, I didn't need Aiden, I needed you, Rusev.
Yeah.
So that trio is having all types of problems.
I saw a tweet that said, I swear to God, if they break up Rusev Day.
The opening promo of this show was awesome. Carmella came out and talked to Becky. Well, Becky started, then Carmella came out, and Carmella got real emotional and saying how a lot of people don't think she deserves to be there. Yeah. Becky got to the main roster before her, was better in NXT than her, all this other stuff, started getting teared up, started talking about WWE Evolution and all this great character work. And then James Ellsworth music hits. She uses it as a distraction and starts beating down Becky. Charlotte comes to save. So Paige makes a match, Charlotte against Carmella in the main event, and if Charlotte wins, she gets inserted into the title match. And obviously, Charlotte won, so it's going to be a triple threat match. And adding Charlotte will make it a better match, but I'm just hoping that this doesn't take away from the shine that Becky's been getting in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Because Becky deserves to have another title run. And if they have a feud between her and Asuka wins the title back, and then Charlotte wins it off of her, or Charlotte feuds with Becky, all that is good stuff. But please, for the love of God, she is your biggest babyface. Give her the fucking title.
She's Becky Balboa, baby.
Yeah. So that ends with my thoughts on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me too. I said before that I don't mind triple threats so much, but it's getting to be a little much, especially with how the SummerSlam card's looking.
Yeah.
But WWE is addicted to triple threat and fatal four ways. They always have been. Well, I don't even know if they always have been. But yeah, so that takes care of all that business. We're going to go into the final segment of the evening with your weekly G1 Climax 28 report. Be a survivor. So, current standings. A block, you got Hiroshi Tanahashi at 12 points. Bringing up second place is Jay White and Kazuchika Okada at 10 apiece. In third, Minoru Suzuki and Evil at 8 apiece. Followed by Michael Elgin and Bad Luck Fale, both at 6. Followed by Hangman Page and Togi Makabe, both at 4. And bringing up the rear is Yoshihashi at 2 points. Block B, the undefeated Kenny Omega at 12 points. Tetsuya Naito at 10 points. Kota Ibushi at 8 points. Sonata, Zack Sabre Jr., both at 6 points. Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Juice Robinson, Tama Tonga, all at 4 apiece. And Toru Yano bringing up the rear at 2.
I read somewhere that the B block mathematically can only be won by Omega, Ibushi, or Naito.
Yes.
Omega holds a win over Naito. Did Ibushi beat Naito or Naito beat Ibushi?
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, me either. But those 3 guys are the only guys who can win Block B. Block A is more like we
Block
don't
A
know
is definitely
yet.
more even.
Yeah. Before today, Jay White and Okada were also tied with Suzuki and Evil.
Yes.
But Okada won his match. Or no. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
I guess I have to go back and watch it all. But yeah, obviously awesome stuff out of New Japan right now. The G1 is an amazing event every year.
My favorite match this week that I watched the G1 was Zack Sabre Jr. against Kenny Omega.
Clearly. I honestly thought that this may have been the first and only time limit draw of the G1.
Yeah, man.
It really seemed like it could have gone a half hour.
Everything that Omega did, Sabre had an answer for. And Omega won with a roll-up.
Yeah, Sabre caught 2 V-triggers. Who the hell's ever caught a V-trigger?
Yeah, and then whenever Kenny went for that you will not...
You can't escape.
Where he does this rolling swanton into the
guess what?
moonsault.
Zack escapes.
Zack turned it into a nifty submission. This G1 has been amazing. And
oh, yeah, man.
Whenever we approach the finals, which is, I think in... Let me see.
I think it's another week from now.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In 2 episodes, we're going to have the last night review and the final review and our best match list, which I have been working on.
Yeah, me too. I still think it's very possible that Omega's first and only loss is going to come at the hands of Kota Ibushi.
I agree.
What's it? Oh, we're an hour 18.
All right.
You want to go a little longer?
Yeah.
Maybe? Do some more G1 stuff?
I got a big question.
Yeah, what's up?
Talked a lot about multi-man matches.
Yeah.
Coming off the top of my head here with the big question. If you could book a multi-man match, whether a triple threat, fatal four-way, 5, 6, whatever, a scramble match.
Yeah.
Who would you put in it? What would it be for?
I don't know. I think. I used to. When I was a kid, I used to be way better at the fantasy booking stuff. I always had this idea for a true one championship for all of wrestling.
Right.
I'd say the multi-man match would be AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Kenny Omega, Austin Aries, Jay Lethal. I guess you would throw in Nick Aldis. Like, you got NWA champion. Basically, just all the world champions.
Pentagon.
All the world champions in all of wrestling in either one match or a tournament type deal.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. For maybe not a championship, but for like a big trophy or something.
Yeah.
Like a World Cup type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, man. I like that stuff.
I would love that.
You got a question for me? Off the top of your head?
No, I figured maybe you would answer the same one. You got something?
Sure. I could throw something together.
Yeah.
We haven't seen an Armageddon Hell in a Cell in a long time.
Oh, that's true. 6-man Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. And I put Braun, Drew, Seth, AJ, Samoa Joe, and Nakamura.
Nakamura? Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, if it has to be done in WWE.
I mean, it's a Hell in a Cell match. It would have to be.
Well, they could make a different type of name for it.
When are we going to get an NXT Hell in a Cell match? That's what I'm waiting for. That'd be awesome. NXT Takeover Hell in a Cell.
Probably the end of Ciampa and Gargano's feud.
That would make sense. It definitely would. Or we recently had the NXT Takeover Extreme Rules match that had never been done in NXT before. We're getting another War Games this year. So the firsts for NXT...
And two promotions. MLW owns the rights to the name War Games, and they're using it.
Oh, so how the hell is WWE doing it?
Because they're WWE. They probably paid Court Bauer some money.
Oh, maybe.
Court Bauer
yeah,
used to work for WWE.
That makes
he
sense.
has no ill will.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the firsts for NXT are kind of starting to run out a little bit. But NXT Elimination Chamber, NXT Hell in a Cell, I could definitely see stuff like that happening.
Yeah. Next week, we will continue with our G1 Climax Weekly Report.
Yup.
We'll be discussing NXT as two big names will be debuting against each other. Keith Lee versus Marcel Barthel, who is Axel Dieter Jr. And we'll be discussing Evolve 108 and 109, which is also being ran with Progress Wrestling. So, to everyone who's listening, whether you are new or old to us, thank you. We appreciate you wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night. You have a great one, and peace and love to all of you.